Hello, everybody. You're listening to Fireside Paranormal Podcast. My name is Jordan Cline, and I have a fun show planned out for you tonight. My guests today are members of the paranormal investigation group Raid Horror. They are based out of Texas. Before we get to them, though, I do want to mention one thing. You know, I really love with this program how I've been able to make some connections with a lot of folks, a lot of people in the paranormal field, a lot of networking and connections and friendships that have grown. One of those is with a fellow podcaster who I'd really just love to highlight her show. It's called the Paranorm Girl. Her name is Kristen. She does such a great job. It's very research-based. She's kind of a researching skeptic. So she really digs into each topic. Each season is like a topic in itself. So she really tries to dig in and get opinions from all kinds of different people and belief systems, and then try to put it together for herself, which is really neat. I do want to encourage you guys to check her show out. Like I said, it's called the Paranorm Girl. It's anywhere you listen to podcasts, and she has a silky smooth voice too. She's like the paranormal Delilah. So I do think you guys are going to love her. She did send me a little promo clip to play, so I'm going to play that now for you.
Have you encountered something you can't explain? Do you believe in the paranormal but haven't experienced it? Are you a skeptical believer too? My name is Kristen and I host the Paranorm Girl podcast. My show is an education in the paranormal. Join me as we explore a different topic each season and dissect origins, theories, experts, and so much more. Whether it's life after death, cryptids, ghosts, or any other paranormal topic, we will pull it apart and put it back together again to fully understand it. If you're a fascinated skeptic, a believer yearning to know more, if you're looking for an education in the paranormal, I'm your Paranorm Girl.
All right, so go out there, support Kristen, support that show, go subscribe to it, check out her social medias. She's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and it's all under the Paranorm Girl podcast. So go give her some support and love. Going to give some shout outs to some of my other friends and colleagues as well. So make sure you check out wickedcatclothing.com. They have a lot of really cool designs out right now. And remember, code Fireside30 gets you 30% off any of the merchandise. And make sure you check out American Paranormal Magazine. Their newest issue should be out soon. And it also highlights one of our past guests, Jose and Angel, with their group Fog. So make sure you don't miss that one. And we do have an event coming up this coming weekend, March 26th and 27th. It's going to be at the West Virginia State Penitentiary in Moundsville. It is the Wonders, Oddities Expo and the Tri-State Exotic Animal Expo. They are joining forces for a huge 2-day event. Admission is $10. Kids 12 and under are free. The event is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm going to be there. I know last week I said that I was only going to be there Saturday, but I have some people covering my table for Sunday morning so that I can be there for a good portion of the day. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys, meeting you. I'm going to have my table set up to where we can record some more of your stories. I'm really looking forward to it. I love meeting y'all. I love seeing y'all face to face. It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, speaking of stories, our featured story this week is coming in from Audrey.
All right. My name is Audrey Rothrow, and I am originally from Salt Lake City, but I've been in Marietta for about a year. So my story actually takes place at the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, which it was a definite destination I wanted to go to. We got to go, and it was a lot of fun. But I think the best part was we went on their ghost tour at night, and we went over into their opera hall, and there is supposedly one of the most popular ghosts over there is a ghost by the name of Lucy. And it was me and my friend, and we were doing the dowsing. Well, actually, they ran out of the dowsing rods, so we had pencils. And, we were just playing around. We were having a good time. And we walked into this room, and we were, pointing the pencils at each other to get them to talk. And we were just asking questions, and they started moving. And we were asking them if Lucy liked Fleetwood Mac, and she said no, and then we were mad. But the best part about this story was, like I said, me and my friend were just having a good time with each other, and we asked where she was, and the pencils pointed straight down, which said that, she was right there. Her husband was taking pictures of us while we were doing that. And at the end of the tour, we were looking through the pictures, and the picture he took right before is crystal clear. The picture he took right after is crystal clear. But the picture that he took of us when we were having this conversation, completely cloudy, weird. You can't really see what's going on. And there's no reason for that to have happened because everything else was clear. So, like I said, we were having a good time, and it's like, maybe we really did get to talk to Lucy. And she doesn't like Fleetwood Mac. So. And that's my story from the Stanley.
Thank you so much, Audrey. If you would like your story to be one of our featured stories, make sure you send it to me. Email it at firesideparanormalpodcast@gmail.com. You can either read it or just send it in text. We'll read it for you. But we definitely love hearing all these stories. If you are a paranormal group out there, I know several of you have reached out to me. I'm trying to put something fun together. So if you are a paranormal investigation team out there and you are listening, send me an email, reach out, try to get me on one of my socials, if not through email, but let's hook up and let's do something fun. All right, I want to get to our guest. Join me by the fire as we welcome paranormal group Raid Horror. You guys with us?
Yeah, we're here.
All right, tell us who you are.
So me, my name, I'm Tate. I kind of started the whole the channel. Big horror fan. Me, a group of friends, and my girlfriend started big in the horror, big horror movie fans, and not all of us really believed in the supernatural, but I for one was kind of a skeptic for the longest time myself, actually.
Okay, so you kind of started a group full of skeptics.
I'm actually the only believer, really. So.
Yeah, and it's also kind of what I have in the bio of, I think on Instagram and YouTube as well, is that we're more truth seekers, and the fact of we want to prove that it is real more than anything.
Okay, so your whole goal, like, even though you're skeptical, you're trying to prove that it's real. Is that?
Yeah, that is correct, because I have experienced some stuff in my life that's made me kind of more on the side of the believer.
Okay.
Just because of some weird stuff that has happened throughout like my childhood and stuff, but I've always kind of played it off as, oh, it's camera flare or just the wind.
Okay, so you've probably had the most paranormal experience in the entire group, but you're in denial. Is that what you're saying?
Jessica,
is that what he's saying?
Maybe not the most. Jess, what do you think?
I'd say I probably have the most, because I'm the Wiccan of the group, to make sure that we stay properly protected and nothing comes home with us.
Okay. Now,
So,
what kind of experiences have you had?
Oh, I've had many. I used to like actually see ghosts when I was little.
Okay.
And I saw little girls dressed in a white dress. I saw black shadows. One was wearing a top hat and a trench coat.
Believe it or not, I don't know if you've done any research into that, but so many people, when you talk about like shadow people, have seen the Hat Man, which is like the silhouette of a man wearing a big hat like that.
Most of them really only see the one with the big hat, but I have talked to some people who've seen the one with the hat and the trench coat.
Very cool. Now, have you seen anything like that, Tate?
I haven't seen anything like through the actual naked eye pictures. When I was younger, I was actually running through the house playing around, and my dad took a picture of me, and he stopped me, and he like waved me over to come look at the picture, and you could see coming out of the wall was a hand and a face reaching out towards me.
Ooh.
And Yeah, and it honestly it freaked me out as a kid, but I didn't want to admit it out loud. So I tried to play it off as like, oh, camera flare, but it was plain as day, a face and a hand, and it honestly really scared me at the time.
That thing reaching out of the wall, it's a bug.
Yeah, it's a bug.
Now, okay, so a bunch of folks into horror movies decided to start a paranormal investigation group. What kind of investigations do you go on? How do you promote yourself, with a name like Raid Horror? Does it scare folks away? Do you find people like it?
So I'd hope it doesn't really scare people away. I hope it attracts people and more of the horror fans, like, oh yeah, that's cool. We actually had one woman come to us about her old house being haunted, and we actually are in the middle of making a video about it now.
Wow.
We've kind of had to put it on the back burner a little bit, but we've already done our investigation and stuff there, and there was they said they did a lot of voodoo in that house.
Really?
Yeah, so we've done all our recording stuff there, and I will tell you, it was real creepy. A lot of weird stuff happened without giving really much away from the video.
So let me ask, like, where are you located?
We are in Bay City, Texas.
Bay City, Texas. Now, where was this house at that you did the investigation?
It's actually here in Bay City.
Okay.
Yeah, not too far away.
Now, where is Bay City in Texas?
It's about an hour and a half from Houston to the south.
Okay. Well, I lived in League City, going towards Galveston. I don't know. Texas, for those of you listening, Texas is a very large state. And when you talk about Houston, Houston's about an hour outside of Houston. It's big. So I lived about 10 minutes from the Space Center.
Okay. Do you know where Matagorda County is?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know it's kind of a big county, but that is the county that Bay City is in.
Okay.
Where Van Vleck is maybe 10 minutes out of the way, if you know where Van Vleck is.
Okay, yeah. So do you guys find yourself staying like locally or regionally? Do you stay in that area when you do investigations? Do you guys travel?
So far it's really just been places here in Texas. We just haven't really had the opportunity to go further out, and I'm working and doing investigating when I have days off. So we've been making the best out of it locally, but we would like to go further out, see all the other haunted locations that the world has to offer.
So tell me about some of your investigations. Like, what is your main, I guess, clientele? Do you get a lot of folks that are like scared in their homes? Do you get a lot of folks that maybe have like the old house that is like a museum now that you want to check out? Like, what is your usual investigation?
So really before recording, it was mainly a lot of people we did already know personally, and they had old houses that they've always felt or thought something was in, and so it's just more or less kind of friends of the family for the most part, and old houses. One of the places I actually have done, me and the rest of the group where we work, we've actually done it where we work, but of course we can't record in there, but it is definitely 100% real there. Like, I have no doubts about it.
Oh, wow. What kind of stuff's going on?
So we've actually seen on camera, on our cameras at work, there was the shadow of a person in black and white.
Really?
Yeah, they went from they went from one section of the building and ran real fast to another, and ran into the area. And we actually ran down there real quick to check it out. And the door was the door was open, but nothing was in there. Nobody.
Now, did you get any like recordings or anything do you do like EVP when you do it?
At my work, no. It's more like actual first-hand sight experience. But when we go to other places, we, kind of bring the whole equipment.
Okay, now what kind of work do you do?
I am a jailer for the Matagorda County Jail.
Okay. So you probably don't have a lot of equipment to do investigations on your jail rounds.
Yeah, definitely can't do it there.
That is really neat. I worked at a place here locally. I worked with youth that were in some issues where they needed to be under locked door. And there was one hallway. I mean, whenever we'd work like midnight shift, doors would like be banging on, or you'd have the kids coming out and be like, "Hey, who was at my door?" And like it'd be a hallway that's completely empty. It's always the fun times like that you never have the equipment that you want.
Yeah, and that's definitely the sad thing about where I work, because I wish I could, because like just the feeling is completely off when you go in certain parts of the building. Like the temperature will drop so drastically for a short period of time, and you just kind of know. And we actually have a section for our riot gear just in case anything breaks out. And one of the helmets that was secured on the wall actually came flying off the wall.
Really?
Yeah, not like you could hit the wall as many times as you wanted to. It's all solid concrete that it would not move, but it just came flying off the wall and landed in the middle of the room. And we were just like, "Oh, geez," no clue what to think. We kind of freaked out for a minute.
Well, I'd say. Now, is there any like tales like after that happened where they're like, "Well, yeah, old Freddie, who used to be a guard here," like any stories like that?
The most story I've heard at our jail was someone, of course, they in our lockdown, they committed suicide.
Oh, wow.
So, and that was years before I even started working there. But, everybody's always had like weird experiences there. And here recently, it's kicked up a lot. And I definitely think it's because I definitely think me and my coworkers kind of stirred the pot a little bit with it by, trying to actually reach out to the spirit while at work.
Now, Jessica, is there anything like that happen at your job?
I am actually a stay-at-home girlfriend, but I have experienced things like
I love
that.
it. I love it. So you say that last part again. You've experienced this stuff there?
Not at his job or our current house, but in my childhood home. That's where the girl in the white dress was, and she would only show herself to women, and she wouldn't try to communicate with you or anything. She'd just stare at you.
Now, how old were you at the time when you were seeing this?
I saw her, I'd say probably from 5 to 16.
From 5 to 16. Did she ever age with you, or did she stay the same age? How old would you say she was?
She stayed the same. I'd say she was about 9 or 10. There is a lore that my dad tells me for the reason of that girl.
Oh, yeah.
Before he bought the house, upstairs is a crawl space, and he said that the parents of the little girl actually put her in the crawl space and starved her to death.
Oh, goodness gracious. Now, did you ever find any evidence of that, or?
I haven't, but I do continue to look.
Like, does your parents still live there?
My dad still lives there, but my mom and dad aren't together, so.
And did he ever look?
I don't think so. He's not a big believer of all of that. He only believed in the little girl because me, my mom, and my older sister all saw her.
Wow. Now, do you feel that gift stayed with you, or do you think that was more of a situational thing?
It stayed with me, but it only happens every now and then.
Have you seen? Because I know you've seen the shadow people. Has any of them? Has any sightings that you've had been as clear as the little girl?
No. The little girl is the only one I've seen that clear, but I have seen blurred faces on the shadow people before.
Really?
And I've actually seen them in our current house.
I thought you said nothing happened in your current house.
Not like what he was talking about.
That's something. Like he's talking about a hat flying off the wall. You see people that are smeared faced and hats wear on their heads.
I'm so used to it, it doesn't seem like a big deal to me, so I forget to mention it a lot.
Now, are there situations that bring them out, do you feel? Like, do they come out if you guys are, like, arguing or watching a certain kind of show or a certain time of year? Anything like that?
Definitely when we have our arguments.
Really?
Yeah, it's like it makes them mad and they want to show themselves to us. I've even seen a shadow baby. Like,
What?
it crawled across our kitchen floor.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
How big was it?
I'd say about the size of a 6-month-old.
Okay, so you say, like, shadow. Like, how like, black of a shadow? Is it like a faint hint of a something, or was it like this black, misty mass that was crawling at your feet?
It's like when you see your shadow on the actual ground, but it's just pitch black.
Do you go to your kitchen at night now? Well, I guess I should ask
yeah.
Tate that. Tate, do you go in your kitchen by yourself at night now?
Yeah, but I always turn my flashlight on my phone. That's also because we have a Chucky doll in our living room, and I'm terrified that it's going to come to life and come at me.
I love you guys. I think I would be scared to death of that shadow baby. That's the first. This is the first time I'm ever hearing of a shadow baby. You've got the exclusive.
That was my first time ever seeing a shadow baby.
Now, how many times have you seen it?
Just that once.
Just that one time.
Yep.
I don't even know what to say to that, Jessica. Tate, how do you feel about the shadow baby?
I think if I see it, I might move out of this house.
That's how I'm over here thinking like what I would do in that situation if I saw a shadow, coming at me in my kitchen while I was standing there. Lost for words. I'd cry. I'd probably cry. I'm not scared of much, but I think I might cry at that.
I think I would too, because I'm not one to see the prominent things myself. I've definitely heard stuff before.
Yeah.
My old house I used to live in was actually I think they said was an 18th century home.
Oh wow.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah. It and in the basement there used to be a tunnel that I honestly can't tell you what was used for. It's creepy. But they had blocked it off. But the basement was always kind of creepy to go down at night, especially when you're trying to do laundry. Well, I had heard faint like whispers, and it kind of creeped me out. But I was with my friends, so I was like, it's fine. And then I actually had heard a little girl singing, and I will admit that I have never ran out of a place so fast in my life.
All right, so you said before every experience you've had you've tried to explain away. How'd you explain it? Was that one just lens flare too and a bug? What did you think was singing?
I honestly did not know. At the time, I did not care to find out.
You just blocked that out.
Yeah, I kind of just blocked down. I tried to get over it because I had to live in the house, but just not for that night.
Goodness. So how many folks are in your group?
At the moment, it's just 4 of us. It's me, my girlfriend Jessica, and two of my other coworkers that I work with at the jail, Lee Cox and Robert Garcia. It's really just us four right now. In this upcoming video that we're working on, actually, it's just going to be three of us because our other member was out of town at the time.
Okay. Now, when you make these videos, what do you do with them?
After, I'm not tech savvy, so I have the hardest time getting them off my camera and onto my computer. I've actually been trying to find a better editing software to try and actually piece the videos together, because my recordings they've only recorded for so long, and then I had to take it off my memory to record longer. So it was kind of a hassle.
And do you put them on YouTube? Do you put them on your own website?
They're going to be going up on YouTube for now. I would like my own website in the future, but YouTube for now.
And what is your YouTube channel so people can go check it out?
My YouTube channel, it is Raid of Horror. It's actually kind of hard to find if you just type it in. I guess because YouTube sees that we're new and doesn't want to promote us. But it's Raid Horror. You can find us easier on Instagram, and our link to our YouTube is there.
When you go on investigations, what is it you take with you?
So as of right now, our equipment is honestly small, but I tried to have the basics. I always try to have the basics with me. I have a spirit box. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's the PSB 7T spirit box.
Okay. Do you have much luck with the spirit box?
We've gotten some things through it. Not a whole too much. Not a whole too much really. We've got a good couple things. They actually we've actually heard our names come through it.
Really?
So that was a real surprise to us when we heard that, and it's pretty interesting.
Like, did it name you off one by one, or just throughout the night your name popped through?
It was really just kind of in one
Wow.
one instance.
Wow.
It called out one of our group members.
Come on. And he stayed with your group?
Yeah, he stayed. He's a trooper.
I've heard with the spirit boxes, I know people that are diehard for it. I know people that design them, and I know folks that don't have much luck at all with them. So kudos, keep with it. What other kind of equipment do you take with you?
Oh, yeah. So I've also got it's just kind of a simplistic EMF meter. Honestly, it's just like probably as simple as it can get. I've had a lot of spikes with this, especially in the house that we were doing it in. The house was kind of it was old, abandoned, stripped of everything. Nothing actual electrical was running through the house.
Okay.
It was, and I got some big spikes in two of the rooms with it. So that was probably my most useful tool at the time. We also got a little EV recorder to go with the spirit box, so we can play back in case we miss something later. I've got at this moment I've only got two cameras. One that I use personally, just a little 4K digital video recorder. Nothing too fancy, but it's pretty nice. It's got night vision on it, so it's easy to see in the dark, of course. And I have a GoPro. I think I have the GoPro. I think it's 4 or 8. One of the two. Big jump, but
You know, a lot of folks think you need all kinds of equipment and all this specialty stuff. I mean, you really can. I've seen people do investigations with a tape recorder and a string with a rock on it. You know, it doesn't take a whole lot to get some kind of evidence, some kind of showing. You know, so an EVP, EMF, flashlight, or video cameras. I mean, that's really all you need. All the other stuff is just for fun. If
Oh, yeah.
I've seen people with like teddy bears with, blinking lights strapped to them and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. Like, you don't have to have that. For those of you that are wanting to start a group and things like that, go out there with a tape recorder. See what happens with a tape recorder. And a camera. Take some pictures. Just see what happens. No, but that's good.
Really, all the fancy equipment's not necessary. It definitely helps. It definitely helps, like, if you want to see the different reactions that the ghosts can, the spirits can actually give you.
Uh-huh.
I attempted it, and I will be honest, with no success. I have a journal that I use when on investigations. I write in it, of course, but I also try to get writing in it from any spirit or anything like that, or any kind of marking on the page. And as of now, I haven't gotten anything, but I'm going to keep trying.
So how does that work? What do you do with that journal? You sit there and like hold the pencil with it, or do you like leave it by itself somewhere? How do you do that?
So what I've seen, and I've tried myself, is you in the room that you get the hot spot in, you leave the journal in there open. I mean, you can leave a pencil in there, I guess. I did, but really any sort of, you just try to wait and record. You set up your camera to face it, so of course you can see it getting written in, or any marks just appear on it. But yeah, you really leave it alone, and you want to leave the room, because if you're in there, you're most likely going to attract it more over to where you are, and not it focus on what you're trying to do.
Okay, very interesting. I haven't heard that one yet. Now, you said you haven't had luck yet, but you're trying different things with it?
Yeah, no luck yet, but I'm gonna keep it up.
Very cool. I wonder if like you hung the pencil on a string where it's like just touching the paper. That way it's a little easier for something to move it.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea. I'll give that one a try.
Come on, I'm an idea man. That's about all I am, but I got some ideas.
It helps me out.
Now, have you guys done any like I'll call them pay to play investigations? Some of the big locations, psych hospitals, prisons, things like that. Have you done any investigations in places like that?
No, we haven't. That is actually what I am wanting to do, really, because I know, at least in those areas, you know that you're going to get something, instead of walking away with just kind of hoping that you're going to get some. There's a hotel in Galveston that
Hotel Galvez.
Yeah, the Hotel Galvez. That's what I really want to do, and I've been trying to find a time to get in contact with them to see if we can. So I'm hoping for something there.
If I remember right, they were recently doing some renovations too, so that would be a good time to sneak in there. Things usually happen when you're renovating.
Oh yeah.
What I like
that were there.
What I like about the pay-to-play places, especially for newer groups, it really helps you hone in some skills, because you're not there trying to put a family at ease or anything like that. You don't have a couple like walking around like, this is where it happens and this is where we see that. You don't have people like scared in their home. It's a big empty building and you can go and explore. That's what I like.
That's definitely going to help us in the future and stuff like that. I've seen a couple places, and I've read about a couple places in Houston, a couple cemeteries in Houston that are supposed to be really haunted. So I'm wanting to get permission to go there as well. And I've got some pretty big plans, as long as I can get permission to do them.
That's the key. Consent is key, boys and girls. Consent.
Yes,
Now, Jessica, I don't feel like we're talking to you too much. Let's hear your side of it. What do you like about doing the investigations?
I mainly like making the spirits mad.
What do you mean?
In the voodoo house that we investigated, there was a special chair that the ghosts like to sit in. We weren't really getting much activity, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit in the chair. So we all took turns sitting in the chair, and it did make it pretty mad.
Do you feel like you got more activity after that?
I do. There's some crazy stuff that happened at the end. I don't want to spoil anything, but I did run out. I will say that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So something happened that scared you enough to get the heck out of Dodge.
Yep. And I left the other two to fend for themselves.
Now, when can we expect this video to come out? You guys left us with a lot of teasers.
Yeah, I'm working on it in my spare time. Right now, for like I said, I've kind of had to put it on the back burner because I've been going to schooling for my job. So it's
obviously, yeah.
Been a lot of weight on my shoulders. So I've kind of pushed that off a little bit, and I kind of hate that I had to do it, but I'm definitely gonna try and have it done sometime in April, actually, because that's my schooling gets done at the very beginning of April.
Okay, so we can expect in April. Plug your YouTube one more time.
Raid Horror.
Raid Horror.
April.
Expected in April. There's a video of a voodoo house. How long do you think how long are you expecting the video to be?
Well, we spent about I think we went about a total of 3 days at the house.
Oh, wow.
So I'm probably saying maybe about I'm shooting for, out of all of that, shooting for about 30 minutes to an hour, hopefully.
Okay, you got that much stuff there at that house?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff, but I also got to see with my stuff because my camera had actually gotten corrupted while filming, so I have lost some of my footage, and so I'm hoping that it saved the majority of it.
We also had a problem with the GoPro. While I was wearing it, it actually overheated and shut off, and that was after I attempted to make the ghost angry.
I was getting ready to ask, do you think that was spirit influenced?
I believe so.
You sit on the wrong chair and all your cameras die. You did something.
Oh yeah. But
now what is it about the chair? What is it about the chair?
So with the chair, it honestly was kind of it wasn't our main focus at first. When we entered the house, and no, we were just trying to get an overview of it. We were just looking around before we really started anything, and we noticed this chair was just in the master bedroom, just placed right in front of the doorway, facing us straight into the hallway where we walked in at. So instantly we were like, okay, that's kind of creepy that it's just sitting there like that. So we walked. The other part of the house was looking around. We came back, and the chair had actually turned sideways from where it was. And the doors, there was no wind coming in. Like the house was like stale as soon as you walked in. It was creepy, stale, cold right off the bat, and it freaks us out because the chair had turned from what it originally was when we first came in. So we kind of drew our attention on it first, and we got some stuff in there, and of course in the other part of the house as well.
Now, did you have anything in the house that moved on its own like that?
I think really it was moving on its own was just the chair. Everything else was more like what we got through our spirit box and our EMF, and we also heard stuff throughout the house when we were in other rooms.
So this is all
like
audible stuff too, right? Not just through the recorder?
Yeah, no, this is stuff that was even picked up through both my cameras. Audible stuff you can hear. Definitely the spirit box when we used that.
That sounds like quite the place.
if anyone's interested in seeing what the house looks like, there's a glimpse of it on our Instagram. Our Instagram is just @RaidHorror.
@RaidHorror on Instagram, you can see the house.
Yep.
And it's Raid, RAID, for those of you listening. Raid Horror.
Correct.
All right, so if folks out there want to get in touch with you, they want to I guess, have some help in their home, or they know a really cool spot that you guys can check out, how do they get up with you? What's the best way?
I'd probably say our Instagram at the moment.
Is that where you're most active?
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, you guys got any other words of wisdom you want to share on us before we head out?
I wouldn't say words of wisdom, but I definitely going back to the top hat man, I guess is what he's called. Not a personal experience of mine, but a friend, a good close friend of mine, actually was telling me not too long ago about he also experienced seeing him in his home.
Really?
He was, yeah, he was. So he was in he was in his bedroom. He said it was kind of a dark place in his life. More negative energy there, and he said that he would see him. He saw him for about a week, and every day it would always kind of be in the same spot. He'd be in his bedroom, and he'd see him coming down the hall, but every day it'd be closer and closer to him. And he said that it was just a dark time for him. So once he finally started, getting better, cheering up, and he hasn't seen him since.
Wow. And it makes you kind of wonder, going back to what you were saying earlier, where you have more activity like that in your home when you guys are like arguing, right? So, and I know, Jessica, you said because maybe they want you to stop arguing. Maybe they don't. Maybe they like it. They want it. They're feeding off that energy.
I've actually read that they do feed off of negative energy.
How about that? Spooky
In
dooky.
my past, I was in a really bad relationship, so I was in a really bad mindset.
Uh-huh.
And I actually had the top hat man with the trench coat standing right behind me.
Mm.
He showed himself to me in the mirror.
Now, as a shadow, or did you see face?
As a shadow, he was still a shadow person, but if I would have so much as leaned backwards in the mirror, I would have been touching him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, doesn't that scare you at all? You see this stuff all the time.
That one actually did scare me pretty bad, and I didn't go back to that house for a while. But now I usually just look at him and tell him to go away.
The control. You got it.
Yeah, I've learned that you have to be in control or they're just going to be a nuisance.
That's good stuff. Don't feed into their fear, or don't feed into their energy sucking by giving them fear.
Most definitely.
Very cool. Now, see, Tate, you did you pulled out some words of wisdom, kind of roundabouty. Yeah? No?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, phone connection's not the greatest on our end. But, I'm not always one for words of wisdom, so it's rare and it's nice.
It's chalk it up for a win. Hey, I appreciate you guys so much for coming on. How long have you guys been a group?
We've probably been a group for, I think, going on closer to a year now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been closer to a year that we've been a group. All of us, of course, have done our own really investigating at other times. And of course, if the other two group members were here, they would have their experiences and stuff that, and what they experienced even while with us and recording, just how they felt differently. But it's been something. It's been interesting. Definitely creepy, but fun overall, honestly.
Now, I do want to say that I appreciate you guys coming on and sharing with us, your experiences so far and what got you going. And I would like to keep touching base with you guys, just to see the progress. As your video comes out, shoot me a message, let me know so we can talk about it and give it a little promotion too. Would that be cool for you guys?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Awesome. Hey, thank you guys so much for coming on, and we're definitely going to talk again, okay?
All right.
Thanks for having us.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
And with that, the fire is out. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. And I want to thank all of you for always tuning in and giving me a little bit of your time each week. I do appreciate you all. A couple days ago, I asked on the Facebook group Fireside Paranormal Hub what you guys would think of adding some of the episodes, well, actually adding all of the episodes from my previous show, Whispers Radio, into the mix of Fireside. It's about 6 years of backlogged episodes, kind of like the start of what Fireside is, and you guys were all for it, so I went ahead and did that today. I will be doing some editing, obviously. There's a lot of title issues. Technology wasn't the same as it is today, back when I was doing that show. So I do have some cleaning up to do with them. But you have, 6 years worth of episodes that are very similar to Fireside. I got some co-hosts with me, Nick Queen, Lola Miller. We interviewed some great guests, folks like Lorraine Warren, a lot of folks that are no longer with us today that is definitely worth listening to what they had to say. So as I work on getting them uploaded on all of the podcasting platforms, I know some of them are out now. So if you check it out, I think it was on Spotify, I know for sure. But there's some things I need to do to finagle to get them onto Apple. So those will be coming soon. So keep a lookout and let me know what you think of them. Yeah, let me know what you think. Make sure to add me on all your little social media platforms out there. So Facebook, we're Fireside Paranormal Hub. We're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. We're having a blast on all of those different platforms. I really enjoy getting to know you guys. Make sure if you get some time to check out the show's website, firesideparanormal.com. You can see some of the episodes there. You can also see our merch. So if you want some really cool Fireside Paranormal Podcast gear, definitely check out that merch section. We got a lot of cool things on there. So that is all for this week. I do, again, appreciate you guys and everything you do. I appreciate all the good ratings and reviews you guys have been leaving me. Please keep it up. That definitely helps me, and it gives me a really cool ego boost. And until next week, everybody, don't be afraid, only believe.